game. And Benjamin Negrin just about to get the game underway, and he does. Brilliant atmosphere inside the stadium as ever. The Celtic end bathed in green and white. The Celtic look to get another trophy into the cabinet. Here's Johnston under pressure. Trusty goes back to his goalkeeper, Sinisalo. Johnston. Interesting, Simon, how Dunfermline try and set up. We've seen how St Mirren capitulated in the opening minutes, and they ended up finding a way back, but that was probably the worst possible start in the semi-final for them. They will not be wanting that to happen here in the cup final.
No, they want to bed themselves in and try and frustrate and limit Celtic's space. It's a tentative start from both teams here. In the young lad up front, Andrew Todd, they've got somebody there, he's got an eye for goal, played with his dad.
Andy Todd?
Yes,
yep.
Many years ago. Two Todds in the team.
Yeah, the two brothers are starting for Dunfermline as Johnston comes over the halfway line. James Forrest in his 14th cup final for Celtic, 14 league winners' medals. Such an impact. Ball comes into the box. It's headed away by Todd. John Todd, that is. Here's Oakley Booth. Wants to try and feed in Andrew Todd. Here he is, the youngster, creating headlines. Seems he's got bags of talent. Here's Morrison. Celtic quickly get back on the ball with their captain. Here is Liam Scales back to the goalkeeper. Suspect this will play out almost like a home game for Celtic in terms of atmosphere and in possession, Simon.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's the onus is on Celtic, obviously, to try and take the game to Dunfermline, create the chances.
Tierney for Yang, a new contract. Can he score in the cup final? And he looks to find Maeda as he puts the pressure on. You can imagine none of these Dunfermline players will have played against anyone quite like Dyson Maeda.
No, his energy's first class. He'll be a real threat playing on that last line with his pace, his constant running, his constant pressing, as we've seen in the last round. He's really hit form towards the end of this season. Yep,
16 goals for Maeda. Only had 8 before the semi-final. Doubled his tally after an electric Premiership split where he scored in every game, including what I would imagine is a Puskas nominee goal whenever the nominees come out. Trusty just puts the tackle in there, and it is a free kick to Dunfermline, and that is what Neil Lennon will want. You can see Neil Lennon already on the edge of his technical area, and I imagine he's going to be quite animated, Simon.
Well, knowing Lenny, I would say so. He's right at the edge of that technical area. It's the biggest technical area I've ever seen, this one at Hampden, and he's right at the edge of it now.
Well, he's won the Scottish Cup, Neil Lennon, as player and the manager 8 times. All part of Martin O'Neill's Scottish Cup wins. Of course, he had his farewell for Celtic here at the National Stadium against Dunfermline back in 2007. And Tierney lost the ball long. Maeda will put the squeeze on. Is Yang going to get in there ahead of Chilakoa Mullen? He does. Abdullahi on the ball.
Yeah, Maeda just couldn't find him with the return pass there. It was good closing down from Yang, and all of a sudden it opened up for Celtic.
Johnston heads it down. McGregor's got to win this one. He does well, the captain. Finds the Canadian. Sinisalo's got to be clean here. His clearance is initially blocked. Johnston still doesn't deal with it. Dunfermline are keeping this one alive. Shouts for a free kick. Stephen McLean not interested. And Celtic look to get on the front foot. Tierney looks for the run of Maeda. And here he is, the electric Japanese forward. Negrin has Tierney as an option. Yang, just in the corner of the box for Tierney. Looks to find Engels, he does, Arna Engels, and Celtic have their first corner kick, and that was a fine move, Simon Donnelly.
It was, from one end of the pitch to the other. Initially, Tierney finding Maeda in the channel, then he had good support, and then a cute little pass in there for the deep run from Engels, and we win the first corner of the match.
Well, the Belgian stands over the corner in the triangle. He's got Yang for close company. So his delivery is usually a threat. Ball comes in. That is a ball that has to be dealt with. Here's Forrest. Gets it under control. Onto the left foot. It's Forrest. And it's saved by Oxborough. Celtic's first shot on target.
Yeah, it's a decent effort for James Forrest. I've seen it time and time again through his career. Just coming onto that left foot of his. Catches it relatively well, but straight at the keeper that time.
Trusty just heard the shout of his central defender. That's good control from Negrin. Here's Callum McGregor. Pressing forward, looks for Maeda. Gets in front of Todd. He goes down under the challenge. And shouts for a penalty here in the stadium, but Stephen McLean waves it away. There will be a VAR check as ever on any of these, but Dunfermline still have the ball in active play at the minute, but just shows the threat of Maeda. John Todd was all at sea there.
It's a great little ball down the side from the skipper after good play from Negrin. It's been waved away.
No penalty. Did you see this one back, Simon?
Yeah, it's just a play down the side here. He's on side, obviously. Timing's really good. Gets in front. I'm not sure. You see it again there. Just a little pass. He's already causing problems.
Well, I think that John Todd is. He's just on the line of being a bit clumsy in that moment, but
he's just trying to hold himself.
I can almost see why Stephen McLean and the VAR have refrained from giving it, but it just shows the danger that the Japanese forward can bring. 16 goals this season. He will be looking for 70. He's closing in on number 80 in all competitions as well. He's just been electric since almost the semi-final here at Hampden Park.
Contribution to the club's been fantastic. You know, almost 80 goals from the minute he walked in the door. So successful.
And strong challenge there by Chilakoa Mullen on Kieran Tierney. Celtic have the throw, though Neil Lennon is man marking his dugout at the minute. Well, Maeda's peeled off the run here from the throw. Engels. Negrin. For Forrest. It's the Swede. Looks to chip the ball in, looks for Yang. And it goes all the way through to Oxborough. And 10 goals for Yang this season. Some big goals in there as well. Think of those goals against Rangers. He admitted that he would give his goal of the season award back and give it to Dyson Maeda.
Yeah, I think Dyson takes it.
Well, Johnston's got to be careful here. The pace of Callum Morrison, and Celtic really have to be careful here. And it's off the line from Liam Scales. A miscommunication it was in the Celtic box, and the Irishman just got there in time. And that just goes to show the threat that this side can bring. Neil Lennon's Dunfermline. It's just that
mistake in the middle of the defence, but Scales does brilliantly. It looks as if it's about to creep over the line, and he just gets there.
Callum Morrison it was causing all the problems in the Celtic box. The blushes of those in green and white are spared for now.
Just a breakdown in communication, really. Allowed Morrison to nip in. Scales recovers brilliantly.
I suppose that's what you were talking about, Simon, is almost one of the biggest things can be complacency in this fixture. As Yang looks to try and keep this one in play, and it goes out for a Dunfermline throw. But yeah, complacency can be one of the things that might just cost you if you're not too careful.
Yeah, just a breakdown. As the ball gets played through here, Arsenal Jones to try to usher it back. Scales does brilliant there.
You just think he's not going to get there, and then he does.
Yeah, just gets there and last gasp. But yeah, you have to stay concentrated. These things can happen. Almost led to a goal there for Dunfermline.
Oxborough looks for the run of Morrison. Trusty has to head down to Johnston. Started every game since the trip to Easter Road earlier in the month after a long time out injured, Alistair Johnston. There's Trusty. Celtic just patient, looking for that opener. Trusty. Say this is Celtic's 4th Scottish Cup final in a row. Last year's disappointment well documented. Here's Forrest. Oh, it's a brilliant pass. Here's Nygren into the box. Checks his run, goes for the shot. And it's well blocked, but the danger isn't over yet. Here he is again, Nygren. Good play from Johnston. And it goes for a goal kick.
It's well defended in the end there, but it's a lovely link-up between Forrest and Nygren on the far side. Nygren finding him outside of the boot, and then a nice little pass into the path of Nygren from James Forrest. Unfortunately, the shot was blocked.
Well, 11 minutes gone, it's Celtic 0, Dunfermline 0. Dunfermline, first cup final for them in 19 years. Of course, it was Celtic the opposition on that day. Haven't won the Scottish Cup since 1968 against Hearts. Scales with the goal line saving moment. Probably the biggest opening of the game so far. A miscommunication in the Celtic defence. Celtic wearing black armbands in memory of former Celtic that passed away this week, Mike Galloway. Forrest to McGregor. The two pillars in Celtic's great era of dominance. Here's Tierney, another one. Gets the ball into the box, looks for Engels. Just didn't quite gamble on it, the Belgian. Scales with a lovely touchdown to his captain. Here's Yang. Tierney. Celtic wanting to just raise the temperature here in the cup final. Good football. Forrest. McGregor. Scales. Austin Trusty. Patient play for Celtic. Dunfermline will have to do a lot of this, a lot of work off the ball. How tiring can that be, Simon?
Yeah, it can be, especially on this pitch at Hampden. The whole occasion, concentration levels, mentally and physically. Celtic just important to keep the ball moving. It was a great little chip from Tierney. My only surprise was like Nygren hadn't found himself to that back post, because it would have been a simple header.
Scales his pass cut out by Matty Todd. And of course, no relation to Andrew and John. But Dunfermline, they've been terrific in their cup run, Simon. You spoke about it earlier, but You look at them, they beat Hibs, they got a bit of fortune, but the performance to knock out the holders Aberdeen was remarkable.
Yeah, and that itself must give them confidence to go and compete. Obviously Celtic are the champions, but you know, they've beat 3 teams from this division on the way to the final. They look well organised.
And Gwena with a long pass. Morrison makes the run, plods his defender, but Sinisawa collects. Negrin with a bit of space as he drives the ball forward. Get Forrest there. Well played from James Forrest. Yang. It's on to the left, checks back to the right. First time cross for Tierney, but nobody there. And that's still kept in. And Morrison, as Todd it is, looking to make the run. Celtic have the throw, but a few times Kieran Tierney's tried that ball into the box, Simon, with just no takers there.
Yeah, just a little bit too much on that one. It was interesting. I seen Sean Maloney coming into the technical area, just telling Yang to stay really wide and high, and it was him that just fed it back to Tierney there. It just got too much on the cross. Unlike the last one where they hung it nicely to the back post, I thought somebody should have been in there.
Johnston, Forrest, he's just peeled off. Can he keep it in? He's got the Canadian there once again. Negrin. Celtic probing for this first goal. Here's Kieran Tierney, and the shot is well blocked in the end. He goes for a Celtic throw.
Yeah, just one thing in his mind there to quickly get it under control and get the shot away. Blocked again. The Dunfermline defence.
And the ball's just, it looked like it would maybe just creeped out there, but it does go for a goal kick. It is now. I suppose what we've learned under Martin O'Neill's sides this season, Simon, is you might not get the fast start that you want, but they'll always hang in there until the end. That's the main thing.
Yeah, as I say, it's an organised Dunfermline side. You wouldn't expect anything less under Neil Lennon that they're up against here. Sometimes you do have to show a little bit of patience early in the game. As you say, it's hard work, you know, closing that down. Celtic with most of the possession. Hopefully that will tell at some point in the game.
There's Todd, clips it on, looking for Morrison. Trusty has to be careful. That's a brave header from Tierney. And Celtic back in control. You can see the runs now. Forrest looking to peel off Todd again. Here is Maeda, cuts over the keeper, and he gets the goal. Celtic are up and running in the Scottish Cup final, and who else but the magic man of the moment, Dyson Maeda, once again on the score sheet.
Yeah, it just had to be him. He's in fantastic form, Dalen, and a couple of times they've tried to find him with that pace and threat. It's a little mistake, got a nice ball through for Johnston, and coolness personified with a little lob finish.
It's just an icon of this football club now, Dyson Maeda. It's another goal on the big stage.
Nice little clip, he's onside. His timing of the run's been brilliant at the start of this game. It's a mistake in the defence there. Finds its way through to him. He's got no hesitation, just lifts it over the keeper. A cool finish.
Wonderful goal. Goal number 17 for Dyson Maeda. Where would we be without him? What a player. Celtic are up and running. It's just maybe not the fastest of starts, but 19 minutes on the clock, Celtic are ahead. That is just what you want, Simon.
Yeah, and when you've got the likes of Maeda leading the line there with the pace, they've went direct a few times, Celtic. It's obviously a conscious decision, as we see it again here, turning that defence.
Here he is, Maeda, and he gets the free kick.
That pace and threat in behind. And it's no surprise that when players get their heads up, they're trying to clip it over there to find him on the turn.
Now, Martin O'Neill called his form in the last few weeks Larsson-esque. That was a Larsson-esque finish.
It was, actually. It was a lovely finish.
And Celtic have the throw, but he's just a man for the moment. He loves scoring at Hampden Park. What a player he's been for this football club. Big moment last week as well. Celtic have that goal. They are in front in the Scottish Cup final. Engels, lovely. Maeda's in space. It's good football from Celtic. Forrest now for Johnston. He's well blocked and defended in the end. Trusty puts a strong challenge on Andrew Todd. Neil Lennon on the touchline asking for a foul, but not to be. And Celtic have had to deal with a lot of extra time in this run to the Cup and a penalty shootout as well. I'll be hoping for a more straightforward afternoon to win the Scottish Cup and clinch the double.
They're firmly in control here after that goal, and they look as if they're a team hungry to go and try and get this result as quick as possible.
Benjamin Nygren on the ball for Forrest. Just in complete control, the confidence just running through this Celtic team, champions of Scotland, the most successful team in the country, and they'll be looking to add to that. Here's Yang into the box. Here's Yang. He just skews it wide, and I think the flag was up on the far side anyway.
We'll be thankful for that, because he really should do better. Just Engels holding it up here. It's tight, very tight. It probably went to VAR should he have put it in. He just scuffs it into the side net.
They'll be looking to celebrate being a champion, getting a new contract, when it looked like, as Martin O'Neill said, he was going to be a Birmingham City player, Yang, and then what a season he's had, a real breakthrough. He's now one of those guys on the team sheet that you look at and you know you can trust.
Yeah, and rewarded with a contract extension as well. That's football at times, you know, as Martin said, almost out the door, gets back in, performs to a level.
Here's Morrison. It's going to be a tough task for Dunfermline. Not to be disrespectful, it is just quite a jump in quality playing in the Championship to going up against the champions. Maeda's went down off the ball after running into John Todd, but he's back on his feet. Yeah,
just get blocked there. But he's looking to go in. It's obviously something they've discussed. He's looking to go in behind all the time.
Well, Forrest will do well to catch that. Fraser's having to drop back, but it's a weak pass as Maeda puts the squeeze on Oxborough. And he just gets there in time. Oh, it's lovely from James Forrest. Fraser has to recover here. And Dunfermline are trying to pull out some tricks of their own. I don't know if Neil Lennon will quite appreciate that in his box.
Well, he did well to clear it, but the ball's just coming back. You know, they're struggling to get up the park at the moment. Any sort of possession in any of Celtic's territory, it just keeps coming back towards the Dunfermline goal.
Yang for Engels. You can feel a second Celtic goal is on the way here at Hampden Park. 24 minutes on the clock. Here's the captain, Callum McGregor, scored in the 2018 final. Here's Yang, gets it into the box, and he will take the corner kick. But as I said, Simon, you can just feel that second goal's on its way.
Yeah, they look as if they're threatening, they look as if they want to go and get the second and third goals, kill this off. Fast pass out there to Yang from Tierney there. Wins the second corner, I think, of the game.
Oh, Arna Engels over the corner kick once again, and like last time has Yang as the short option. Options in the box, the likes of Scales and Trusty. Ball comes in, that's well headed away by Abdullahi. Tierney for James Forrest. Ball comes in, here's Maeda. His touch was good, but it just kind of got away from him. And Nguena clears his lines, and Celtic will be quick to get this back in play. And Celtic 1-0 up, they're just in complete control as the Celtic fans sing the name of the legendary manager. Nygren. Scales looks for the run of Yang. Can the Korean keep this in? He does. Goes with a left-footed cross. And it goes out for a goal kick. Not his best.
No, it's not. I think he could use a little bit, show a little bit of composure there, maybe bring it down and get 1v1. It's a nice little clip in from Scales again. Again, similar balls, trying to turn the Dunfermline back line with the willing running of Yang and Maeda, but he should do better with that one.
Oxborough ready to put this one back in play, but a lot for Neil Lennon to think about. So he didn't really like being the underdog, but underdogs can bite. That was his words. Sure, he'll always believe that Dunfermline can win. That will be his mentality. Engels clips it on, but here's Chalakoa Mullen. It's good pressure from Celtic to win the throw.
Yeah, they're just finding it difficult to get any sort of foothold, any sort of possession. Closed down, forcing the error there.
Forrest for Nygren. Clinched his 20th goal of the season here in the semi-final. His only goal since that game was that absolute rasper at Fir Park. Engels with lots of room, switches it to the near side against for Yang. Does well to keep it in, and that has went out. I think the flag was up on the far side actually.
Again. Yeah, difficult one for him to deal with there, but he shouldn't be creeping off side there, looking along the line.
And he's been moved over onto the left-hand side of the pitch, Simon. He absolutely performed better on the right-hand side, but James Forrest is there today. He just prefers to be able to go on the outside, doesn't he?
Yeah, but listen, you can't put down a position, and if he's asked to do a job there on the left-hand side, he's more than capable. Obviously working maybe in on his stronger foot. Just shows up, has to show a little bit more composure, keeping offside that one, and with the last cross.
Tierney clears it up the pitch. And Nguena takes a touch. But you just don't have time with Maeda around. And McGregor. Forrest. Gets the ball in. Yang's at the back. He just floats over the Korean's head. And it's just not sticking up front for Dunfermline. Celtic have the ball once again. Yang. Oh, Liam Scales, you fear for Dunfermline if a second goal went in. It almost could be anything this afternoon, but you seen what happened earlier, that Celtic take their eye off it as well, Simon, then they could be straight back in the game.
Yeah, that's football at 1-0, but I think this Celtic team at the moment are trying to get that important second goal.
Got lots of space, Celtic, at the minute. Here's Yang, Tierney with them, ball comes in, it's cleared away, but it is quite remarkable the amount of time the Celtic players have, Simon.
Yeah, they're working it well down this left hand side. The final ball just has to be a little bit better. I think Tierney was trying to find Negrin that time.
Engels
getting in at will on this left hand side.
Yeah, absolutely. There's Yang, Tierney operating in the almost a left striker position at the minute. Negrin for McGregor, and he wins inside the free kick. And Negrin collects the ball. Tierney look to stab it through. There's Matty Todd, and now this is where Dunfermline will look to try and spring the trap, but it's well dealt with by Sinisawo. Great composure by the goalkeeper.
It is, but your heart's in your mouth when he's coming out there at times, but he does well that time. Reads the play well.
Brilliant from Scales. Engels. And he gets Celtic on the move. The Belgians in the box again. It flashes across. And it's cleared away. But the amount of space that they have down this left-hand side, Simon, already spoken about it, but it's something for Neil Lennon to think about.
It's a really good ball from Scales into Engels. It breaks the Dunfermline line, and all of a sudden there's a danger. Again, just that final ball. Try to find somebody in the middle.
Well, lots of impact players on the bench for Dunfermline, the likes of Chris Kane and Zach Rudden. Celtic just in total control at the minute, just looking for that second goal. As that ball should come all the way through to Sinisawo. Missed out in last year's final after Kasper Schmeichel returned to the team. So a first Scottish Cup final for the Celtic goalkeeper, starting Maeda drops deep, and now the ball's clipped over. Negrin's in there. Oxborough does well with the head to read the run, and Chimakoa Mullen lucky there. Here's Gilmore.
Keeper did really well there actually. Maeda came short that time, and it was Negrin and Yang going long for the first time. Pass over the top from McGregor, but the keeper read it well, had to.
Fraser clips the ball. It does seem like Celtic are trying to target young John Todd. It's a big call from Neil Lennon to start him. He's only 19 years old.
Yeah, maybe not so much the player directly, but just that back line with the pace Celtic have got. You know, at times playing it in front of Dunfermline be comfortable for them, but it hasn't been because they're trying to turn them. Any opportunity, a forward pass, the clip in behind the back line.
Well, Yang touches it on, and it's well dealt with by Todd there, but that will be a real education for the young man going up against an international footballer of the quality of Dyson Maeda.
Yeah, I don't think he'll have played against that level of quality in his young career so far. As you say, it's a good learning curve for him.
Negrin just pads it down to Tierney as he goes back to his goalkeeper. Celtic 82% possession, Simon. That's what I'm getting on the stats. That's really reflective.
Yeah, they're dominant. They're dominant without creating too much. You're into good areas.
And here's Maeda, and again, it's Dyson Maeda. And this time, Dunfermline just do enough. And Gwena, this time, But again, they're just not picking up his runs.
Dylan, I thought the lob was on there again. I thought he was just going to lift that over the keeper again.
Here's Forrest. Or Yang. Trusty just winning everything in there at the minute. Can Celtic get this second goal that they so desperately want? Here's Engels! And there is the second goal! A beauty of a strike from the Belgian! And Celtic double their lead, and it could be the double after all.
It's a hell of a strike, it really is. We've seen him hit one recently, I think, against Rangers from a similar distance. He's got it in the locker. But we've been saying they've been getting into dangerous positions and not finishing with that final pass. Engels just takes responsibility this time and thunders one home. The keeper doesn't see it, don't know if he's blinded, he certainly doesn't move. Fantastic strike.
Well, there's nothing Oxborough can do about it. Arne Engels arrows it home.
Yeah, he drills it right between the two Dunfermline players. The keeper's blinded, there's too much power on it, he doesn't even move.
And it's goal number 17 as well, in all colours and all competitions for Arne Engels since arriving at the club. None more important than scoring in a cup final.
And sometimes that option's the best one, just to take the shot on round about the edge of the box, have a go. Things have been breaking down round about the final third.
He's been such a big player for Celtic as well since returning from injury.
He brings an energy in that central part, that area of the park, and he's got a strike on him. We've seen it before, and that time drills it between the two players.
Here he is.
We're in again.
And Yang, this time, can he get in front of his defender? He's got options. Tierney's with him. It's Kieran Tierney. Can he get it from out under his feet? Heads on, and Oxford collects. I do feel like Celtic could even get a third here before half-time.
Yeah, Simon, it's good play down the left-hand side yet again, with Tierney overlapping Yang, and as you say, I think the ball just gets caught up in his feet, because I think he's sizing up the shot. The fact that it sticks under his feet forces him to try and cross it in the end.
Well, it's been absolutely dominance from Celtic. They were 2-0 up at Hampden in the semi-final against St Mirren, but it's been a different type of performance from that first half. They've really looked the part. They've looked like the champions of Scotland.
Yeah, they've really got their tails up. It's been a difficult first half for Dunfermline, trying to hang in the game. Celtic looking to kill it off.
It's Arne Engels' 7th of the season. His goal, as I said, 17 since arriving almost 2 years ago. Some players shouted at him, big pressure. Well, he knows all about it.
Yeah, he's definitely brought an energy back into the middle of the park since his injury.
Nygren for Scales. Oh, brilliant from Engels. He's taken down by Gilmore, I think it was, in there. And Stephen McLean is going to have a word.
Celtic wanted to take the free kick earlier there. I don't understand, unless he's going to book him. Yeah, he is.
First yellow card of the Scottish Cup final goes the way of Charlie Gilmore. A double winner in his own right at St Johnstone a few years ago. Forrest never scored in a Scottish Cup final. Ball comes in, it's headed away by John Todd. Of course, he's got goals in the League Cup finals over the years, James Forrest. And Dunfermline get the free kick. Andrew Todd, it was, that won the free kick from Austin Trusty. A lot to think about for Neil Lennon, Simon. Doesn't want this to become a pretty scarring experience for his team. He'll want them to hang in there and compete as well as they can.
Yeah, definitely. He's down there with one of his members of staff, going over a few things at the moment, maybe looking to make a few changes
Trusty
once he gets his team in.
Trusty just lets that one run, and it goes for a goal kick. Gal Morrison it was, putting the squeeze on the big American. Trusty now, Celtic patient once again. No press coming from the forward line of Dunfermline on the two Celtic defenders. I think the big thing has been Celtic in the midfield have really controlled the game, had lots of possession and time. Johnston. A big summer awaits for the likes of Alistair Johnston and Austin Trusty with a home World Cup. And this man will be going as well, you imagine. Dyson Maeda. Brilliant from Yang. And he's in again here, Yang. He's got Tierney making the run. Here's Tierney into the box. He just didn't get the right connection on the cross. And the chance goes begging for Celtic.
It's good play between the two of them. To start off the move, interchanging, and again just that final ball. I think he just mishits it, almost kicks it off his other foot. Good movement between the two of them to get in yet again down this left-hand side.
Well, half-time soon approaching here at Hampden. Celtic up by 2-0. Goals from Dyson Maeda and Arna Engels. Yang comes short. It's McGregor for Scales. Tierney looking to add his 10th trophy at Celtic, an FA Cup winner in England as well. Trusty for Johnston. Engels once again, he's been terrific so far. Johnston makes a run, but Engels opts for Forrest. Scales. For Engels. Does also well once again, goes for a Celtic throw. But how pleased will Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney be after such a dominant half, Simon?
Yeah, they'll be satisfied with the 2-0 lead, if it's going to be that. It's been very comfortable. Apart from the one off the line from Scales, little mistake. It's been very comfortable. It could have been more if just that final ball round about the box.
Well, Todd just gets it out from under his feet. And here's Matty Todd. Finds Andrew Todd. And Oakley Booth loses out. Tierney goes back to Scales. That is just like a home game for Celtic.
I'm looking at Lenny down below us there. They get into a good area, Dunfermline there, and the first thought was to go back the way from where it came.
Yeah,
I'm really frustrated.
He'll not be happy.
But they've not had many opportunities to get any sort of progress into the Celtic half. It's been a difficult 45.
It just looks like they're chasing the shadows of Celtic at the minute, Simon.
Yeah, Celtic have moved the ball well, brightly at times.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant there. Outside of the foot, and they look for Forrest in there, and it just evades the most decorated man in this club's history from a very first Scottish Cup final goal.
It's great wing play. Just takes his man on, leaves him for dead, and it's outside of the boot, inviting the cross into the 6-yard box here. James Forrest just can't get on the end of it.
Well, the cross from Yang was almost James Forrest-esque.
Yeah, just a lot outside of the boot, teasing as the half-time whistle goes.
And it is half-time here in the Scottish Cup final. Celtic got into the lead through a lovely lob from Dyson Maeda.